Hi Pisces, welcome to your end of May 2018 tarot reading. This is Rena, shuffling the cards. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot. I like to show the backs of the cards too. I just think that's pretty cool. So I'll just put these into little piles and then pick the card at the bottom of each pile. I try to find creative ways to shuffle, or my version of shuffling. Oops, I put the that pile back over there. I usually have been doing it on the side, so that was this pile. Wow, so many major arcana cards. Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay, and then I'll give this pile here a shuffle, and I'll do the bottom of that pile. And I'll be the, or maybe I'll do the top, because the top will be the outcome. Wow. The sun. So that's a lot of change all of a sudden. 5 out of the 7 cards are major arcana cards. Pretty hard to believe, since this isn't even a whole month-long period. Not even a half-month period. But, you know, we're just going to look at these individually. This is the Focus, the Page of Cups. This is, I think this connects with you, Pisces. This is, I love that those colors and the whole depiction. But the Page of Cups, I did get the Empress. I mean, there could be some news about pregnancy. Maybe you're pregnant, or thinking, wanting to be pregnant. You know, maybe debating whether or not you should go for it. And please don't use this type of reading as the, you know, even if I say it shows that you're going to do it. Definitely take everything into account. But this is also a card of innocence, sometimes actually going into gullibility, where a person is way too trusting of someone, and that leads to problems that they have with that person. So it could be like showing where you need to be more discerning sometimes, but you have so many good cards here, so I don't want to put a negative spin on it by any stretch of the imagination. And at the foundation, we have the Justice card. So it's kind of interesting. They have a black and a white cat. Now, in this deck, they are using the numbering of the Justice being number 8 rather than 11, which is in the Rider-Waite deck. So the Justice and the Strength cards, I guess, are you know, switched in this particular deck. So, you know, to me, the Strength card should be number 8, because the number 8 is power, as well as the 8th month is Leo. So, oh well. It's not for me to decide, I guess, right? So this is very interesting, because you have here this situation where, you know, perhaps you see something that has happened, that you were, you know, where justice was not delivered. We have in the challenge position the Death card. Now the Death card connects with Scorpio. Isn't this so funny? I think this is one of my favorite ones in the deck because it's so crazy, gruesome. And the Death card connecting with Scorpio is also about change, transition, and death itself. I mean, it could be a literal death. So I'm even thinking like in terms of an inheritance. If you were cheated out of something and somehow it's called to your attention and you can see maybe you're fighting for something that belongs to you, that you deserve. And yet you trusted the wrong person. Maybe it's even a family member, which would be really sad. But definitely could be issues with a Scorpio individual, another water sign. Maybe not their sun sign, but you know that person's a Scorpio. Sometimes with Scorpio rising, they have like these very penetrating eyes, or Pluto in conjunction with the ascendant, you know, just really intense. The higher message is the Ten of Swords. Perfect. Because this is about really acknowledging that you've been betrayed. One thing I notice, because I've dealt with people who have, for instance, the moon in Scorpio, and that could possibly be even more difficult to really deal with than the sun in Scorpio, because I find that I'm sorry, I don't mean Scorpio, Pisces. The moon in Pisces versus the sun in Pisces. Sometimes Pisces goes into a default mode of denial. And it's almost like, I think what's going on is that you want to protect the very person who may have betrayed you, cheated you, what have you. And it's almost like you're more protective of them than you are of yourself and the things that you've gone through. And I think that's something that Pisces people need to really look at. And that goes back to that Page of Cups. It's like, do you feel as sorry, not as sorry, I don't like the word sorry. Do you feel as compassionate towards yourself as you do towards other people who slip up from time to time? So give yourself the same compassion and love yourself the same amount that you love those other people, in order to honor your own needs. Because someone may be trying to betray you, whether it's in a personal relationship, like a romantic relationship, or in a, like I say, an inheritance issue, or it could even be like in the workplace. Maybe you got laid off and you can't, it's like you can't move on from that because you know that you were not treated fairly. You know that you were fired unnecessarily, or it might not even be a firing. The Death card in this position may be that you need to leave that place, but you can't do it because you can't move on with your life because there's something that it's like you can't put the past behind you in some way. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I can't verbalize things yet. This is the first reading I've done today. The Empress card is in the position of what I call the mundane advice, so the practical advice. And this can be a situation of, I said, like a artistic kind of a career. Perhaps you've been in a different line of work. And maybe even, I think it's safe to say that there are a lot of Pisces people who work in the healthcare industry because, one, you like to nurture people, but also the 12th house that Pisces rules deals with hospitals. So even in that, so maybe you're like a, what do they call those people that deal with people who are dying? I can't think of it. You know what I'm talking about. The end of life type of nurse. And in those types of situations, that can be like, I'm sure there's like a high burnout because, you know, there's a lot of intensity there, and there's a lot of sadness. You may be attached to people and then they die. Maybe you want to quit that, and hospice, that's what I was thinking, hospice nurse. And maybe you want to become a stay-at-home mother or something like that. And so you're thinking about transitioning to something along those lines. What's coming in is the Hermit. You may have a period of time when you are just deep in thought, thinking about your next moves. I've been getting this card in several readings. Isn't that cute? Oh, God, I love that one with the little flame. And in terms of romantic partners, the Empress can be somebody who's a Taurus, which is compatible, Earth is compatible with water, and a Libra person, and the Hermit connects with Virgo. So if any of these signs are somebody that you're interested in, or it could even be like a friendship with somebody who is very supportive of you. The outcome is the Sun card. So of all the placements to get this very positive card, this is definitely it. The Sun card is about success, healing, love. It connects with Leo. So if this is a timing issue, you're going to have this situation of Leo. I think Leo is your 6th house of work. And there's going to be a solar eclipse there in August. So maybe that's a timing issue when everything, if this is a professional issue, that you see major improvements after that date, or maybe even several weeks before that date. So that could be a powerful period for Pisces, because there's also a solar eclipse in July in fellow water sign Cancer on July 12th. So that July 12th to August 11th period, and then even beyond that, might be very powerful for you in terms of love, because that's 5th house, and creativity, and just work itself. Okay, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, the link to my website is below. All the best to you. Take care. Bye.